Hello and welcome back to the Sports Sermon. I'm Dylan Staggy,
I'm Jason Gandhi.
and we are back with you today to do some NFL team previews. We'll be doing these all summer long for every one of the 32 NFL teams. Today we will start with the Super Bowl champions, the Patriots, who made a lot of moves this offseason and potentially got even better from their Super Bowl team last year. So, Jason, let's get right into it. What's their depth chart looking like this offseason?
Well, offensively, the quarterback spot was something that you didn't really know what it was going to look like coming into this year. There was rumor about Brady retiring. Will Garoppolo get traded? All that stuff. But what do you know? Belichick is boring once again and does nothing with it. Keeps Brady, obviously. Doesn't trade Garoppolo, and has got Jacoby Brissett as their third string. So I would say the best quarterback room in the class and the league. Best quarterback room in the league with Brady and Garoppolo as a backup. So Patriots looking pretty sound at the quarterback spot. But if you keep going with that offense into the running backs, a little bit of a three-headed monster there with Dion Lewis, James White, and Mike Gillislee. They lost LeGarrette Blount, but not too much of a loss there. And you pick up other guys such as Brandon Cooks and other guys that we'll get into later. So really the Patriots not losing much except for LeGarrette Blount.
They do lose kind of a power back, I think, at the goal line. Gonna be hurting a little bit. A lot of pass catching guys, though, out of the backfield.
Yeah, it'd be nice for Brady to be able to dink and dunk his way down the field and not have to go 60, 70 yards down the field. So running back wise, I don't think it's anything too special. Deion Lewis had that one breakout year till he got hurt. James White, obviously the Super Bowl hero. And then Mike Gillislee coming over from Buffalo, scoring a good amount of touchdowns. I think it was up to 9 or 8 last year. So all three of those guys really producing well. Going into the receiver spot, you've got Julian Edelman, who's been there for a while now, playing well. But the big addition of the offseason was Brandon Cooks coming over from the Saints. Definitely the big addition. Really can help take the top off the defense. And now it creates more room for route runners like Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, and Malcolm Mitchell to really get open and find their groove inside the hash marks of the field as Cooks and Edelman try to really extend it deep. So offensively, Patriots could not be looking better.
Yeah, I think the wide receiver, one thing they really are lacking is a tall, big wide receiver to go up and catch the ball. But what they are lacking in the wide receiver department, they make up in the tight end. Rob Gronkowski, obviously, the best red zone threat in the NFL, best tight end in the NFL. And this offseason, bringing over Dwayne Allen from the Colts to kind of be their Martellus Bennett from last year, being able to step in if Gronk gets hurt, and just another great tight end.
Yeah. The one thing I did notice, though, on the Patriots offseason moves is that they actually brought in more touchdowns in the offseason than they got rid of. LeGarrette Blount counted for 18, Martellus Bennett 7, and Michael Floyd 1. But when you add that up, you get a total of 26. But if you look at all the off-season additions they made, like Rex Burkhead at 2 touchdowns, Andrew Hawkins with 3 touchdowns, Dwayne Allen at 8, Brandon Cooks at 8, and Gillislee at 9 puts you at 28 touchdowns. So that's the first ever Super Bowl defending team to bring in more touchdowns than they got rid of in the offseason. So, like we kind of said, the Patriots are really primed to make that Super Bowl return.
Yeah, it seems like now that Brady's at the end of his career, Belichick and the Patriots front office look to just be going all in and try and make the best out of Brady's last few years. And speaking of a help for Brady, the defense is just important as the offense. The defense for the Patriots is just really nice. A lot of new pickups. Coney Ealy, a guy from the Panthers, had a great Super Bowl against the Broncos when they played. I think he's a great talent on the defensive line. Linebackers are still nice. Dante Hightower, Rob Ninkovich coming back, although they are getting a little bit older. And the secondary is looking better than ever. Bring over Stephon Gilmore in free agency from Buffalo. A little bit expensive at 5 years, $65 million, but he'll be a nice corner to complement Malcolm Butler. And also got Patrick Chung and Devin McCourty at safeties, holding it down back there. Patriots secondary is going to be a tough one to overcome this season for teams.
Yeah, Gilmore is actually one of my favorite signings by any team in the offseason because in case Malcolm Butler gets moved in the next year or so, then they'll really be able to make up for that with Stephon Gilmore, someone that really produced well for the Bills last year. So the Patriots clicking on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, offense and defense looking very nice for the Patriots, and even better than their team that won it all last year. So let's move in a week by week schedule preview and predictions for the Patriots.
So week one, it's the Thursday night game, first game of the season. It's against the Kansas City Chiefs. They are home. Dylan, I've got a win here. What do you got?
Also a win. I think they come out ready to play on that first Thursday night that they're accustomed to playing to, all these Super Bowls. Patriots in the limelight, get the W to start the season.
Next, they go and travel to New Orleans. New Orleans really revamped with Adrian Peterson, but did lose Brandon Cooks, obviously. So a homecoming game for Brandon Cooks. Does Cooks and the Patriots come out on top?
Yeah, I think they do again. The Saints not looking too good again. Their defense still pretty weak. Offense without Brandon Cooks this year. We'll have to see how Drew Brees fares with a new running back weapon and Peterson, but without one of his best wide receivers in Cooks.
Agreed. I think the Patriots start off 2-0. Next, they go and are back home for the Houston Texans. Lots of question marks there on Deshaun Watson and some other guys. I think it's a pretty obvious choice that the Patriots come out on top there. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm not super high on the Texans this year. If Deshaun Watson works out, obviously the Texans are going to be great. A good defense, DeAndre Hopkins on the offensive side. They're a good team if Watson works out, but I think the Patriots secondary is just going to tear apart Watson and give him a tough test in Foxborough.
Yeah, I agree. So moving on, it's home for the Carolina Panthers, a team that some people think are back on the rise after a Super Bowl run and then kind of a disappointing following season. I think it's a potential trap game, but I still have this Patriots coming out on top 24-21.
I think it'll definitely be close. I think Cam Newton will have a good game that week, but again, the Patriots just a little bit too much.
So now I have the Patriots taking their first loss of the season to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Jameis and Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, all of them really get to Brady or get to the defense, and then the Bucs defense stifles Brady enough. I think the Bucs take a shock here home against the Patriots.
I also have the Patriots losing this game. I think going to Tampa Bay, and those first four games, although I have the Patriots winning them all, they're kind of tough. I mean, Chiefs, Saints, Texans, and Panthers. They're not the greatest teams in the NFL, but definitely teams that need to be respected. And I think the Patriots win all those, but are a little bit worn out by Week 5 and take a loss to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, a big thing about them being worn out is that Bucs game is a Thursday night, so definitely going to be a short week where they could definitely see some fatigue there. So moving back now is at the New York Jets. I think it's an easy win and might be a 40-point win.
Yeah, the Jets not looking too good this season, especially the quarterback position. Patriots should have an easy time there.
Then they come home for the Falcons Super Bowl rematch. I think the Falcons start to decline this year, so the Patriots come out on top.
I don't think the Falcons are bad this year, but I don't think they're really gonna decline a ton. Not gonna be at the same level they were last year, but not an awful decline. But again, at the Patriots, I think it's another win for them.
Then they go and are home against the Los Angeles Chargers, a team people think might be on the rise with Mike Williams and some other offensive pieces. Think the Chargers can pull out a game in Foxborough?
No, I'm going to go again with the Patriots here. I mean, Patriots just too much. Chargers, not the greatest defense in the league. Patriots get another win.
Okay, so the Patriots now go on a little bit of an AFC West run where they take on the Broncos, then the Raiders. I think they'll defeat the Broncos on November 12th, but then the next week lose at the Oakland Raiders, but it's really in Mexico, so I think uh, that the New England Patriots beat the Broncos, but then lose their final game against the AFC West matchup and the Raiders.
I'm going to flip those. I think the Patriots lose going to Denver. They've had some struggles there in the past.
But Peyton Manning's not there anymore.
Yeah, Peyton Manning's not with the Broncos anymore, but I think that tough weather with the altitude in Denver, always tough to play in. The Patriots have struggled there in the past. I'll take a loss there, but then they come out motivated the next week and are able to beat the Raiders.
All right, moving in now, you've got the Dolphins and the Bills, and then the Dolphins again. I think that's 3 straight wins. Going to play the Dolphins twice in 3 weeks is big because it'll give the coaches time to study them and really get game plans. So, Dolphins twice in 3 weeks with the Bills in between. Do you think the Bills could be a trap game?
I don't think so. The AFC East is just way too weak this year. Patriots should easily be able to sweep it.
All right, then the Patriots finished off the regular season at Pittsburgh, home for Buffalo, home for New York. I think those last 2 games are easy wins, but I think the Patriots suffer their last loss of the season and take an L to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a close one that goes into overtime. I think Brady just can't get it done, but will get his revenge in the playoffs on the way to a Super Bowl champion.
I'm going to have to agree. I think those last 2 games, easy wins again. Like I said, I think the Patriots will easily sweep the AFC East this year. But that Steelers game, definitely going to be a tough one. Going to Pittsburgh late in the year, going to be some tough weather conditions, and another loss for the Patriots. And I think we both have them finishing the season at 13-3.
Yes, I do. I have them losing to the Steelers, Buccaneers, and the Raiders.
Yep, I have the Bucks, Broncos, and Steelers this year.
So there we go. I think the Patriots will be repeat Super Bowl champions, just too much for any other team to handle.
I'm going to agree with that. And moving into headlines for next year, and my headline, are the Patriots the best team ever? I think that's a valid question after this offseason. One of the greatest teams ever last year. I mean, winning the Super Bowl and being pretty dominant throughout the regular season, even without Brady in the first 4 weeks. The Patriots really got it all done last year and then made some moves for some great players. Brandon Cooks, Dwayne Allen, Mike Gillislee, and many more offseason moves this year for the Patriots. I think they're in the conversation for possibly the best NFL roster of all time.
I think it's a little premature. We got to see what they can do on the field, but on paper, it definitely looks like it. My headline is championship or bust. Short and simple. I think that's really how it is these next few years for the Patriots. It's either a championship or a failed season. So that's, I think, the Patriots' mentality, and that's what I think it's going to be these next few years. So that's my headline for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, with Brady's last few years in the NFL, the Patriots are going to try to make the most of those. So, with the NFL draft in the past few weeks and a lot of discussion about that recently, our top 5 for the end of this episode will be our top 5 favorite NFL draft picks for either value or liking the player. So, Jason, who is your number 1?
My number 1 is Hassan Reddick. It's kind of a combination of both. He went 13 to the Cardinals. I think he is a great value there. I think he's a top 7, top 8 talent. But also, I think he's a great player, and I just like watching him play. He's from Temple, a good linebacker. I think he's someone that in a few years is going to be talked about as one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
Okay, I like that pick. Mine is going to have to be Jamal Adams, going number 6 to the Jets. He was rumored to be going number 2 to the 49ers or the Bears, who traded up to number 2, but one of the best talents in the draft at safety. I think the Jets got great value picking the best player available at number 6. Snagged Jamal Adams, best safety in this draft by far.
Hopefully the Jets can somehow find a way to get some positives, and so I think Adams is a good place to start. My second is more of a value pick, O.J. Howard. Getting him to fall to the Bucks to 18, I think was an ideal scenario for Tampa Bay. You now give Jameis Winston, Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard. I do not want to see them inside the 20-yard line.
My second is going to have to be my Colts pick, Malik Hooker. I think the second best safety in this draft, and he was also a great value pick. Going rumored to be going number 7 to the Chargers, or at least somewhere within the top 10. The Colts able to snag him at number 15 with all the trading up for quarterbacks in the top 15. He was able to fall, and the Colts made a great pick. He'll be playing center field for the Colts next season, a team who really did not force many turnovers. He'll be back there trying to pick off the ball and create some more turnovers and more opportunities for the offense.
I'm going to follow your team pick, and I'm going to go with my own Oakland Raiders pick with Gary and Conley at number 3. I loved the value pick. I had him in my mock draft going number 9, despite the off-the-field concerns. If those allegations become false, Conley's a top 10 talent, so my Oakland Raiders got a great piece to add in that secondary, and hopefully try to knock off these Patriots.
You don't think any concerns about character will hurt him in the NFL?
Definitely not for Oakland. I think we've had those type of players in the past. I think we know what we're doing. That whether he did it or not, I think Oakland has the best path available for him. I think he's going to have a successful career as a Raider.
And you still think, despite before the draft, he was rumored to be falling to the 3rd round with all his character issues, you still think it was a good value pick?
Top 10 talent. I don't worry about the off-field concerns. It sounds like Reggie McKenzie and all the staff there sound like they're pretty confident he's innocent. So if he's innocent, he's a top 10 pick.
All right, so for my number 3, I'm going to have to go with a player that I really liked. Probably not the best value at number 7, but the Los Angeles Chargers selected Mike Williams, the wide receiver from Clemson. He tore apart Alabama's secondary and those final drives of the national championship, leading Clemson, along with Deshaun Watson, to win that thing over the Alabama team, which seemed unstoppable at the time. I love Mike Williams. He's a huge receiver. He reminds me a lot of A.J. Green, and I love the pick there. Not the best value at number 7, as a lot of people had him going lower, but I just love Mike Williams.
All right, number 4, I go pure value. Reuben Foster at number 31 to the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, he was supposed to be a top 15 pick, fell away to 31, and now the Niners have 2 top 10, top 15 talents in their draft. So a great pick there by the San Francisco 49ers and new GM John Lynch.
Yeah, with my number 4, I'm going to go with the man that you mentioned earlier, O.J. Howard, number 19 to the Bucs, adding another weapon to that offense. Going to be really dangerous next year with Jameis quarterbacking and a lot of weapons around him.
Yep, at my 5th pick, it's a 3rd round pick, the 71st overall pick. I'm going to go Dan Feeney from Indiana University. I think he's going to be a solid guard that's going to come in and play right away. He's got some of the best technique in the draft, and I think he's definitely going to be a reason that the Chargers are on the rise.
Yeah, he was projected to go a little bit higher than 71. Great value for the Chargers, and I love my boys from IU. So, number 5 for me, Jason, you also mentioned earlier, Reuben Foster to the 49ers at the end of the 1st round. Great value, obviously, for the talent, but the only reason I don't have him at number 1 is because I do think that the off-the-field issues, getting kicked out of his physical at the combine, and his shoulder issues don't really add up well. I think he still has some significant off-the-field issues, but based purely on talent, he is probably a top 10 talent in the draft.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, Reuben Foster, definitely a great pick. Same thing with Gary and Conley. If they're not found guilty, I think then the Niners and the Raiders both definitely got some great players.
All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Our team preview for the Patriots, one of the best teams in the NFL, reigning Super Bowl champions, looking to do it again with Brady back at the helm and some new weapons around him. Jason, what do we got coming up next?
Tomorrow you've got the Celtics as we start our What's Next segment. as we will be doing a different team each week for what's next for the next NBA teams as their season ended. So that's coming up tomorrow. Got some NBA mock drafts down the road, as well as just continuing this series and just some basic what's trending in general headlines. So lots to look forward to. We appreciate all of you guys for listening, and really give us any feedback as much as possible. We'll appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow, like Jason said, with the Celtics, and we'll have plenty of new content this summer, catching you up on all of the sports headlines and previewing the fall seasons to come for NBA and NFL. So, can't wait to see you again. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you tomorrow.